Happy Families Podcast. It's the podcast for the time-poor parent who just wants answers now.
Hey, Kylie, I'm going to share a story just now that might be a bit embarrassing for you.
Are you going to incriminate me?
Maybe just a little bit. And I'm going to make myself look really good at the same time.
Oh, they're the best stories, aren't they, hon?
That's what I think. My name's Dr. Justin Coulson, the author of all these books about how to make your families and relationships happier. I'm not sure if it's going to work today. Here with Kylie, wife, co-host, mum to our 6 kids. So we bought a new car maybe about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Because we've got a big family, it was a brand new Kia Carnival. First time we've ever bought a new car in ever.
Ever.
And not sponsored, by the way. Hashtag not sponsored, but gosh, we love that car. What a fantastic car. If you've got a big family.
You know what I love about it the most?
You need a van, go for it. What do you love about it the most?
It's got all of these sensors, so it tells you when there's things that are in the way.
Are you saying
You can't have an accident in a car like that.
Do you know what story I'm going to tell?
What story are you going to tell?
About the accident that you had.
What accident? I've had an accident.
Yeah, so we had the car for just a couple of months at most. And so our garage is always pretty full of stuff. And therefore, when we turn the car on, all the sensors go beep, 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 beep.
All the time.
And so Kylie gets into the car and the sensors start going beep, 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 as you would probably expect. She pops into reverse and begins reversing. The door was open, but there was a car parked behind the Kia.
Let's face it was a small car.
Our teenage daughter drives a sedan, a full-sized family sedan.
Now you're making it sound really bad. It's much smaller than the Kia.
Anything's much smaller than the Kia, unless it's a semi-trailer. Kylie reverses the car. Didn't bother to, because all the sensors are going off, and they always do, didn't bother to actually check the 360-degree camera that is displayed on the...
The Kia has the best camera ever. I am incriminating myself here. The Kia has the best camera I've ever seen.
On this 8-inch colour display that shows you everything that's happening around the car.
Well, it only works if you look at the camera. I wasn't looking at the camera.
Every obstacle that's there. Reversed toe ball first right into the sedan.
Luckily, your
sedan
bumper bar is plastic and it bounced back.
It sustained all of the damage.
It did.
And it still hasn't been fixed nearly 2 years later. But I remember you came to my office and I was on a call and I couldn't be disturbed, but I knew that things weren't good. And then you grabbed a piece of paper and wrote,
I crashed the car.
I just crashed the car and then ran off crying. So I obviously got off the call as quickly as I could, walked into the garage, saw it and was like, oh gosh. And then I remembered the lesson that I want to emphasize now. And we've talked about it on the podcast before, but I remembered the lesson and it was an important one. People matter. Things don't.
Well, I'm glad that I taught you that lesson.
Well, you gave me an opportunity to practice the lesson. And I remember specifically what I said to you. Do you remember what I said?
No.
I said 2 things. First of all, I said,
I love you.
I said, Kylie, you're feeling really awful right now, aren't you? And you nodded and I was like, and I love you. And then I continued and I think I was a little bit cheeky. I said something along the lines of, isn't it horrible when we ignore those warning beeps and forget to look at the big colour screen that shows us what's behind us? And then you started crying again.
Well, I think there's another lesson that comes out of that as well.
We did hug and you took it very,
Humour
very well.
helps.
Humour does help. It does. So what's the challenge for our families today to help their families to be happier during the school
crash
holidays?
the car.
That's definitely a good tip. Challenge accepted. Do you have another one?
I do.
Mm-hmm.
When things go wrong today, and inevitably at some point something will.
Yeah, that's right.
Something will be in our path and it will challenge us. Find the opportunity to remember that people matter. Things don't.
And then give your kids a great big hug and say, I love you more than I loved that really expensive thing that you smashed. And we can work that out. Let's just make sure you're okay first. We really hope you enjoyed this tip. Short, sweet, simple, and a bit of fun. The Happy Families podcast is produced by Justin Rulon from Bridge Media, and Craig Bruce is our executive producer, even in the holidays. He never stops, that man. If you'd like more information about making your family happier, you can find it all at happyfamilies.com.au.